My peoples, my peoples. Good morning to everybody. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I know y'all seen Jaron Boots Ennis versus Uisma Lima yesterday. Um, y'all know Boots is gonna get the hate. Already people talking about, oh, he only fight cans and this and that. We gotta talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. JJ Sendejas, good morning, my brother. 6 in the morning. You're an early bird just like me. Toy Mafia in the building. Salute, my brother. J Will, salute. Says Virgil still got to get past Lubin. He going to do that, my brother. Um, Lubin is a good fighter. I respect him. And I know he's going to put up a good fight. But Virgil's going to handle business. I can pretty much guarantee you that. But my peoples, I'm already seeing the narrative that Jaron Boots Ennis only fight cans, that he ain't fighting nobodies. Why we gotta treat Boots like this, man? Like the guy's 28 years old. He won a couple of titles, and at 147, so he's a welterweight unified champion. Now he moved up to 154. Okay, yeah, he asked for a little tune-up. But then we gonna crucify the guy? We really gonna just hate on him? Like, Boots is already building a hater fan base this early. That's crazy. Hey, you know what's the problem when you become a hater of a fighter? From now on, you're always gonna look for a hate angle. So let's say if he fight Virgil and he beat him, you're gonna be like, yeah, but he ducked him at 147. You know, that's where it should happen. Like, there's gonna be a narrative, something that you gotta, figure out to hate on the guy. But I gotta tell you, if you decide that you're gonna go against Boots and you're gonna start running with that narrative that he only fight cans, that he only fight bums, and all that stuff, what's gonna happen when he gets those names in there, when he starts, accomplishing? Are you gonna try to stick to your guns and be like, nah, but and do like people do Crawford, still try to find a way to hate no matter what? So I'm already seeing that with Bulls, young bull, accomplishing, winning, and look what he said right after the fight. He said, "I want Virgil, I want all of them." He mentioned Zayas too. I'm not sure. I didn't hear him mention Fondora, but I think he said, I want all of them. Everybody who got a strap, the 154 division is mine. That's it. So people want to crucify him for getting a tune-up at 154. Meanwhile, this dude, made his debut in the division, pulverized his opponent, and immediately called out the champions. Did what he was supposed to do. So I don't knock him. I say, okay, let's see what's next. Let's see what you're going to do. But when you're 20 years old and you're already a unified champion in your previous division and you moving up, damn, you crucify somebody that quick? That's what's, I say, my people, that's part of what's wrong with boxing, that we want to crucify. Like, people look to diminish fighters. They just looking for a reason to diminish a fighter. Instead of looking at this young talent, this guy who's only 28 years old, who's already accomplished, who's looking to become the guy. He's looking to become number one pound for pound fighter in the world. And people crucifying him already. Come on, man. The hate is crazy for Jaron Boots Ennis. Y'all got to keep it 100. Yesterday, as soon as he won, I saw a bunch of, social media people posting about, he's only fighting cans. Oh, he's only fighting bums. Come on, man. People got to stop the narrative. The narrative, as always. JJ's in the house. People already talking about Boots, that he doesn't fight nobody. Working his way up. He's doing better than Tank. Ducking ass. JJ's in the house. When people start talking about Boots, that means he's doing something good, of course. Because the best fighters always got the most haters. That's just a fact. Look at Crawford, look at Shakur, look at Floyd when he was active. Jaron Boots is the realest. It really is horrible, man. People want to put him down so bad. That's what I don't understand. This guy is so special. Every time he step in the ring, we see something special. We see some other fighters just can't do. And damn, they just looking for an angle, for an excuse to hate on him. That's crazy. And those are the people, like, once he starts accomplishing, those are the people that will always look for a way to try to diminish it. You see how Terrence Crawford haters, they try to diminish all of his opponents, and they try to say he didn't fight him at the right time and all this other stuff. This is the same crowd that will do that to Boots. Remember I told you that. This is the same crowd right here. But he's going to keep accomplishing. He's going to keep winning. So keep that in mind. If you're going to hate on Boots, have at it. Have at it. Hate on Jaron Boots Ennis, but you're going to watch him win. You're going to watch him accomplish. You're going to have to figure out a different argument for when he accomplishes. Like, oh, yeah, that champion wasn't this, and this champion wasn't. And you're going to keep finding ways to diminish while everybody else is noticing that we're watching a special fighter. Young Guns. Lima had 15 fights and fought nobody. Young Guns. We got to be real. Young Guns, if we got to be real, why are we only putting the emphasis on his debut at 154? If we got to be real, we got to look at his career. At 28 years old, he's already a unified welterweight champion. But if you want to hate, you're going to cling on to that. That's all you got to say. Oh, well, he fought a can. Well, wait a minute, he fought a can. That's it. That's all you know about Boots, that he fought a can at 154? That's not exactly being real, my G. John, that's why I don't think he should fight Virgil next, because they will completely diminish that win. They'll say Virgil never had a belt. I mean, look, it doesn't matter when he fights Virgil. It really doesn't matter. I want to see that fight for unification, but the people that hate on Boots, guess what, my brother? Whether or not he beat him when Virgil has or doesn't have a belt, they still going to say the same thing. They're going to find a way to diminish that win. That's what they do. Look, think about what happened with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, my G. That same people that told us that Canelo was going to knock him out, Canelo was going to make it look easy, Crawford was too little, Canelo's too big. Those are the same people that's now telling us that Canelo's past his prime. He really wasn't the same anymore. And you know, Crawford was really a weight bully. What? So the logic shift when they don't like somebody. That's just the way it is. JJ's in the house. Crawford, Boots, and Shakur have lots of haters just because they're good fighters. And I gotta say, my brother, because I seen someone post, I think it was in the Zone IG handle, that they posted that Jaron Boots Ennis is gonna be the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world after Terrence Crawford. And I'm gonna answer to that. I'm gonna tell you guys about that. Because if you think about it right now, Terrence Crawford is locked in to that #1 pound for pound spot. There's no way, there's nobody in boxing right now that's going to get a win to bump Crawford off of that #1 spot. There's nobody. There's not a win that you could get to get him out of there. Right? So he's locked in with that #1 spot. If he fights 2 more years, he's going to be that guy for those 2 years, unless he loses. So, you know who's going to get to that #1 spot before Jaron Boots Ennis? Shakur Stevenson, my peoples. Shakur's going to get to #1 first. He's already on the pound for pound list. Boots hasn't even gotten in yet. Shakur Stevenson is more accomplished. So he's ahead of Boots when it comes to accomplishments. What's going to happen is that Shakur will get to that #1 spot first. And then eventually Boots is going to get some big wins. And them two are going to be battling it out. You know, Boots is going to be #1, you know, for 3-6 months. Then Shakur's going to get a big win. He's going to go back to #1. Then Boots going to go. They're going to do that until somebody gets a huge win that they're going to own that spot. There you have it, my peoples. Jay Stradamus done told you what's going down. Young Guns. Now I bet Boots is going to fight Abbas Baru, the WBA super champ. Young Guns. Abbas doesn't move the needle. Marie De Bruyne. Yo, brother, who do you got? Ennis or Bakram? Nah, I got Boots. I don't have nobody beating Boots. The only way I see Boots losing is if he move up too many divisions. And now he fighting somebody that's too big, too strong, and he getting lumped up. But he ain't nobody beating him at 154. It's just not happening. The the best chance to beat Boots, in my opinion, at 154 is either Sebastian Fondora or Bakram Mortasaliev. To me, those are the two that have the best chance to beat Jaron Boots Ennis. Sebastian Fondora and Bakram Mortasaliev. Outside of them two, I don't see nobody beating Boots. And to be honest, I don't see nobody beating Boots, period. I'm just saying the two people I think have the best chance. Young Guns, no Virgil. Honestly, I don't see Virgil beating Boots. I see him putting up a good fight. But I think the other two guys have a better chance. LB Jersey. ¿Qué es lo que es Tigre? In this weight, 154, he can't lose. Not honestly, that's what I'm saying, though. I don't see Boots losing, but the people that I give the best chance, Bakram Mortasaliev, Sebastian Fondora. Those are the two. Styles make fights, my people. You gotta understand that. Styles make fights. My peoples, I don't know if y'all seen the videos that I've been posting, the boxing content. Y'all gotta check out those shorts, man. I was in the Dominican Republic National Boxing Team's facility. Well, I was in the Olympic Village, and the Dominican boxing team was there, and they were sparring. Let me see. There was two countries that was there, two different countries. I think Guatemala was there and another country. And it was high level sparring, my people. It's elite level young bulls going at it. I've already posted a few shorts. You know, if you love the sweet science, if you love boxing, check out those shorts, my people. These young bulls, you're going to be seeing some future world champions, I promise you. You know, the future Carlos Adames, the future Alberto Puello, these guys are here right now, yo. You need to see what's going on out here. Young Guns, I did see the live. I said, what's up? You see what them young bulls is about, Young Guns. You seen it. You seen it. So I posted some videos. You guys got it. And I'm going to be posting a few more, by the way. And I got invited to a few big tournaments. And, you know, given the green light to broadcast live and everything. So you guys will be getting some action from over here. JJ said that has Boots stays on the outside with that nasty jab and beats Virgil, even though I like Virgil. For Virgil to win that fight, he will have to make it a slugfest. If he can force it into a slugfest, he can win that fight. LB Jersey, Fondora is the only competition for Boots. Styles make fights. Nah, bro, I think Bakram Mortasaliev could give him problems. He could give him problems, but I think he gives everybody problems. He got a style, man, that is problematic. JJ's in the house. Thanks for letting people know about the shorts, Jay Smith. No doubt, my brother. Gotta let the people know. Look, a lot of my subscribers have no clue what they missing out on because, you know, a lot of you guys just go check out the live. You know, you want to be, you know, in the live, but you have no idea the type of shorts, the type of video, the type of content that I'm putting out there. Like, I'm really, and I hate tooting my own horn like they say, but I promise you, my people, when you start checking out them shorts, you get to understand that, yo, I'm really him. Like, the kid is him, for real. And Jaron Boots Ennis, he is him. Regardless of what the haters have to say, Yeah, they don't like him. Yeah, they always gonna find a negative angle, a negative spin on the young gun. But it is what it is, man. Jaron Boots Ennis is headed for that number one spot. He's headed for that. And by the way, you're gonna tell me that this guy, has an undefeated record, it's a world champion, and over one tune-up, people decide to crucify him? Guess what? The people that are crucifying him over the tune-up, they've always, they've always hated on Boots. They've always, diminished his opponents and try to say he's not all that. And they're always gonna do it. Those are the same people, that hate on Crawford, like the same type of folks. The Crawford haters, they've always diminished his opponents. And even when he started accomplishing, they still diminish his opponents. They found an angle to do it. They're gonna do it with Boots. Watch. Remember I told you this. When Boots whoops somebody, with a name, they're gonna say, nah, that guy, he wasn't the same, or something happened with him, or he just didn't look the same. That's my favorite one. When people don't have an excuse of what really happened, nah, he just really wasn't the same. Like with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. Oh, nah, Tank Davis he wasn't the same, B. Like, you have to understand, my peoples. If you're used to seeing somebody winning, and then you watch them get their ass whooped, of course they're not gonna look the same. They never look the same. Did Canelo look the same against B-Roll? No. Did Arrow look the same against Bud? No. Come on. When people get their ass whooped, they don't look the same, ever. You're not used to seeing them get their ass whooped. So, when a guy get beat, forget all that. He don't look the same. Look, I'm telling you, Jay Smith is telling you, a fighter's not gonna look the same if he got somebody in front of him that's outboxing him. That's offsetting the things that he's used to doing. You ain't gonna look the same, bro. That's just the way it is. You're not gonna look the same if you're getting pummeled. It's not because your mind wasn't in the right place and your emotions. No, it's because that fighter in front of you punching you in your face had you not looking the same. That's why. Forget about all the excuses. I don't want to hear when fans say, oh, nah, because he was going through stuff personally. My peoples, this is 2025. This is real life. Everybody going through stuff personally. Let's be real over here. Alright? Everybody goes through stuff personally. If you ain't going through some shit right now, tell me you ain't gone through some shit within the last 5 years. Tell me that. The whole world going through some shit. I don't want to hear. Every fighter that step in the ring is going through some shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, nah, he wasn't the same because, he was going through something. I don't want to hear it. Lamont Roach put the baits on Tank Davis, and he got gifted a draw. And now, people hating on Jaron Boots Ennis, and you're going to see him accomplish. You're going to see him do some big things. Hopefully, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis is going to be next. Hopefully, we get that fight next. And let me just point out, Boots said he wants that fight. Eddie Hearn said he wants to make that fight. That's it. The ball's going to be in Oscar's court. JJ Zendejas. Boots wanted to see where his body and strength are by moving up. Well, we found out that Mr. Jaron Boots Ennis brought his power up to the 154 division. Still Mr. Catch a Body. That's what he is. Mr. Catch a Body. So, yes, he's going to get the hate. People going to say, no, leave us a can and this and that. But listen, that's his debut in the division, man. There ain't no need to crucify the young bull. Bull's 28 years old, man. People acting like he got a cherry-picked career like Tank Davis. He don't. Stop. Let the guy live. Let the guy get his little tune-up. Gotta stop. Listen, if you think about Boots' career at only 28 years old, he's had a damn good career thus far. And he's already an accomplished fighter. He moved up from the welterweight division as a unified champion. So again, instead of hating, how about you just wait and see what he's gonna do and say, damn, okay, you got a tune up. Cool. Let's see what's next. They calling out Virgil, they calling out everybody. Let's see if somebody call his bluff. Let's see if somebody want that smoke. But in the meantime, for that post from the zone where they said that Boots is gonna be the next number one pound for pound fighter in the world, that is incorrect. Shakur's gonna get to that number one spot first. And eventually Boots is gonna get there, and him and Shakur are gonna be battling it out back and forth for that number one spot. The same way we see Crawford, Inoue, Usyk, that's the same way we're gonna see Shakur, Boots, and maybe somebody else. I don't know. I'm not sure who else. Young Guns not calling out Bakram. Bakram already messaged on social media saying, let's make the fight. Bro, listen to yourself. Boots fought yesterday. Yesterday. And you talking about Bakram already calling him out and he not mentioning his name. Bro, that was yesterday that he fought. That's what shows you that you're a Boots hater. Look, the first thing you said is that he fought a nobody. And now you're saying, yo, but look at this guy. He ain't call him out. Bro, he literally fought like 11 hours ago, bro. You couldn't even wait 24 hours to get him an opponent. Look, listen to yourself, bro. That's like when Crawford put the beats on Canelo. I don't think they even had lowered his arm yet. And you was already, he need to fight before. He need to fight Benavidez. You already got Bakram for Boots. Less than 24 hours later. That's what the haters do, bro. You're full hate mode when it comes to Boots Ennis. JJ's in their hands. Hit the like button, everyone, as you enter. Man, listen. People be ducking that like button like Tank Davis ducking Shakur. Young Guns. Boots took no damage. So he can do a quick turnaround. I know he could do a quick turnaround, but goddamn, bro. Shit, can you let the guy at least sit down for a couple of days before you get him an opponent? Before you line him up with somebody else? La creta, loco. Jesus Christ. Listen, yesterday, Boots already let you know. He told you yesterday, the 154 division is mine. He gonna take everybody belt. That's it. He got his little tune-up, handle business. This what the way he was supposed to. Now we know his power. He took it right up to the 154 division with him. That's it. That was my only question. Right there, my peoples. That's what I was asking myself. Did Jaron Boots Ennis take his power to the 154 division? That's my question. And the answer, yes, he did. He absolutely took his power into the 154 division. He's going to be destructive. He's going to knock people out. Shy Guy, Boots is a level above than Lima we saw. No, you're 100% right. He's above levels. But, Shy Guy, power is power regardless. So you could make an argument, and it would be facts, that it's harder to land those shots on a better opponent. But power is power no matter what. You catch anybody with those shots, they're getting slept. So one thing we know for a fact is that Mr. Catch a Body took his power right on up to the 154 division. Philly Talk TV. That was a super cakewalk. Now you right. You right. I can't hold you. You know. But I'm gonna say this. And what do you think about this? Philly Talk TV. Right? Jaron Boots Ennis at 28 years old. He's already a unified. He was already a unified champion in the welterweight division, and now he's making his debut at 154. He said he wanted a tune-up, and right now he's already calling out Virgil and all the big dogs in the division, right? So why are people crucifying Boots over one tune-up when he's already calling out the big guns? Like, why is it that people are so hostile towards this dude? I don't understand it. Philly Talk TV. I went to the fight last night. I thought Lima will make it make it through a few rounds. My guy, listen. I was talking about the fight like days leading up to the fight. And I told people, I don't know Lima like that. I've only seen a few highlights. He looked like he can box, but I don't know how good he actually is. On paper, Boots is supposed to obliterate him. Boots is supposed to knock him out in beautiful fashion. But you never know. With a fighter that you never really seen, you never know. Like Bakram Murtasaliev came out of nowhere. We ain't never seen him. We ain't never heard of him. This guy was fighting in small venues in Europe, not televised over here. And before you know it, this guy showed up and absolutely battered, pummeled Tim Tszyu. And now we know him. So I didn't know what type of fighter Lima was, but we know what type of fighter Boots is. Philly Talk TV. I was upset, not gonna lie. I wanted to see a fight. Yeah, it's disappointing, man. Come on, bro. You got less than a round of action. You paid your money for the main event. God damn, bro. You paid them tickets for 2 minutes of action. You probably felt like you got robbed, bro. I feel you. My G. God damn. Yo, I hope. This is the moment. The fight was so short that I hope you had some cheap tickets, man. So you didn't at least. Please, bro, tell me you had some. You don't gotta be nosebleed, but don't tell me you spent money for 2 minutes of action. JJ's in there has Jay Smith. They want Boots to fight 5 guys in one night, like George Foreman. That's what it looked like, bro. Jason Williams, top of the morning, good people. My peoples, appreciate you dropping in, man. Let me know what y'all thought about Jaron Boots Ennis and his debut in the 154 division. It's like I said, I don't focus on hating. I focus on seeing what was the result and what's expected, Now, I do expect him to fight one of the big guns. But I don't have a problem with him moving up and doing a tune-up. We didn't have a problem with when Canelo Alvarez did a tune-up with William Skull before facing Bud Crawford. He knew he was going to get his ass kicked. He said, let me get a tune-up, B. I need 2 paychecks. Y'all going to do me like this? I need 2 paychecks. So all I'm saying is, ain't no need to crucify Boots over a tune-up. That's crazy work, in my opinion. Shy Guy, 154 division is gonna be Boots for the take. I don't see Fondora or that PR Youngin champ beating Boots. I think Xander Sayas could make it interesting. No. Look, I promise you, Xander Sayas definitely makes it interesting. But he don't got the experience. He not ready. He can't fight no Boots now. He getting cooked. But I think he got the skill set, the tools, the resources, the size, the heart to make it interesting against Boots. In the process of getting his ass whooped, of course. Jason Williams, that fight was a waste, to be honest. I mean, if I spend my money and Boost handle business in 2 minutes, I'll be pissed. Real talk. I will be upset, bro. I hope Philly Talk TV has some nosebleed section tickets. And it's like, whatever. Tickets was cheap as hell, anyways. John Parham, damn, Boost put paws on, bro. I had $100 on Boots on the 6th, but damn, fight was trash. Listen, man. I don't think. Look, let me ask you. Look, I'm gonna show you guys so you can see how everybody doesn't get the same benefit of the doubt. The fight was trash, right? But the knockout, it was a highlight reel. It was an ESPN type of knockout. Now, why this fight was trash, right? But when Tank Davis fought fighters that you never see it, he did not, and he knocked them out. That fight wasn't trash. Why when Tank David does it to a cherry pick, it's not trash, but Boost does it to a tune-up and it's trash. Philly Talk TV, tickets was $70. Damn, bro. To be honest, damn that $70. I don't know. That hurt me. That hurt me. That's a nice meal you could have got, bro. 2 minutes of action, nah, fuck it. $70, even that's too much. That's too much. You could have got you a nice little steak, some potato wedges, motherfucking strawberry shake. Nah, man, they did you in with that 2 minutes of action. I'm sorry to put it like that, bro, but that's how I feel. Tay John, I was at the fight last night. Nobody was really pissed. I mean, because I know when you watch it in live, you know, it was explosive and it's fun. But Tay John, let me ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. 2 minutes of action, bro. You didn't feel disappointed that it didn't go further? Keep it 100. Because I know I'm going to enjoy the fight to the fullest. But, bro, when I'm walking out of that arena, I'm going to think about it like, God damn, I spent this much on 2 minutes of action. Fuck. But that's me, you know. That's my train of thought. John Parham, nah, you disagree, bro. Was way worse than anybody Tank fought. I agree with that. I agree with that part. John Parham, 70, came with a $40 trick. J.S. Ennis, $75, John, and I could have went to the buffet. Well, that's what I'm talking about, bro. You spent $70 on this fight, and you got 2 minutes of action. Bro, you get a T-Hawk steak with that shit? Come on now. Philly Talk TV. But we rented a box. Me and a few other guys from my gym rented a skybox, seats included, food and drinks, paid $300 apiece. And our drink was, so I was a little mad. Oh, man. So you know what? I'm going to tell you what. It was worth it then. It was worth it. You know what? Because at the end of the day, it wasn't just the 2 minutes of action. You was hanging out with the fellas. Y'all was enjoying the night of boxing. Y'all. So, nah. That was worth it. That was money well spent. Hell yeah. Young Guns, do you think Paul versus Roach is worth, is it $80 pay-per-view? Golly. That's $80 pay-per-view? Pitbull versus Roach, that's a little bit steep. I gotta say it, man. Especially with what these people doing with these free fights and these fights on Netflix and all that. That's a little bit steep, I gotta say. $80, huh? So I think that PBC, they struggling. You see that they haven't had that many cards this year. And I guess they have to make it expensive, man. They have to make it expensive to get that money, to get, you know. You gotta pay the fighters, right? But I think right now, if you look at all the promotional outfits, all the fights that they're doing, all the events that they're having, Top Rank, they're doing shows every month, almost every other week. Matchroom, it almost seems like they're doing a show every week. Queensbury, the same thing, a bunch of shows. And you're not seeing that with PBC. So I think that price is part of, them having to get that, having to make that money. Simple as that. Because if you think about it, Pitbull, he's a star. And Roach now, after fighting Tank, his star power went up. But damn, $80, that's the type of money you're paying to watch a Canelo fight. That's the type of money you paying to watch Tank fight. Those guys, they not there. Shy Guy, nah, Streamfest, I got it for free, my boy. I hear that. Tay John, Top Rank struggling too, though. Look, honestly, I wouldn't say that Top Rank is struggling. And I'm going to tell you why. Look at the roster. I think an indicator to tell you if an outfit is struggling or not is two things. Number one, look at the roster, the young roster. That's number one. And number two, how many shows they putting up. Top Rank is putting up a lot of shows and they have a lot of young talent, which is very important for the success of a label, right? Think about it. So Top Rank is in a position where they consistently scout and successfully sign amateur boxers. Guys who go to the Olympics, guys who win national tournaments. Top Rank has a deep pool of young guns that we never even heard of yet. Kids with 4 wins, 5 wins. So trust me, Top Rank is in a real good space. Some fights, they could put some fights together that might lose money or whatever. But as far as a roster, Top Rank has one of the deepest rosters right now. JJ's in the house. Don't Ghost. Damn, man, hit the like button, no doubt, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, JJ. Man. Tay John, they don't have a TV deal. But yet, they still on TV. What you have to understand is that they don't have a TV deal lined up for when this one runs out. And I guarantee you, the current deal that they have with ESPN is not gonna run out, and they're not gonna have nothing in place. I guarantee you that. So, you can assume like, oh, it's not gonna work out. They're probably not gonna make nothing happen. You can make that assumption, but I'm trying to tell you, with the type of roster that they have in Top Rank, a deal is not gonna be a problem. They're gonna be shopping for the best deal. Top Rank is not gonna find themselves in the same situation as PBC. What happened when Showtime pulled the plug on boxing? None of the people that did boxing was dealing with PBC because they had already burned all those bridges. They had already burned the bridges with ESPN. So that's it. They couldn't go back to it. They had already had problems with Fox. That wasn't going to happen. So where they end up? On Amazon Prime, an application that's never hosted boxing before that. And you don't have anybody else that you could box with. You can only fight in-house. That's a tough situation to be in. Now, guess what? I read somewhere that Bob Arum was actually talking to the people, like one of the people that he was talking to for his next venture was Amazon Prime. So, if Top Rank decides to go to Amazon Prime, now PBC is going to have a dance partner. So instead of them having 4, 5 shows a year, for next year, they can have 10, 11, 12. They can have a show every month. Because that's what they need. That's why you see that a lot of PBC fighters are inactive. That's why you see a lot of PBC fighters. Who you going to fight? There's nobody else on Amazon Prime. That's why you also see PBC fighters fighting on other networks. Or fighting on cards that are being held on the Zone or wherever. Because PBC doesn't have enough shows to have all of them fighting. So, because of that, you don't see them signing a lot of young guns. You don't see them bringing in those. They struggling. Their situation is not the same as Top Rank. Jay Sendejas. Jay Smith, are you still shadow banned? Because I see numbers go up and drop down fast. So yes, the answer to that question is yes. I don't know how long I'm shadow banned for because I have a strike, and that strike is gonna end. I think no, it is gonna end in November. It's gonna expire. So I don't know if I'm gonna be shadow banned for as long as that strike is over. To be honest, my people. That's why, and John Pound says, like and share the live. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. I've seen a few people have shared the live. And to be honest, this is the only way that the live is going to get out now because I'm shadow man. So there's no other way that people can actually see it. It's not going to show up in their feed. It's not going to. If you notice, most of the people that are in the live is active subscribers, but you're not seeing new people coming in because YouTube is not going to let them see it. It is what it is for now. JJ's in their house. Competition is good for us fans, so we can see more fights. That's a fact. That's why if Top Rank was to sign with Amazon Prime, it will benefit PBC. They're gonna have a bunch of possible matchups that they can make. And you know what'll happen? PBC fighters that have been inactive and you know they don't talk about it, but trust me, if you're a fighter and you're inactive, you're frustrated. Fighters most times they not inactive because they wanna be. They in that situation because they just can't get on fights. Simple as that. Can't get on fights. But we digress, my peoples. Jaron Boots Ennis. All I'm saying is cut the guy some slack, yo. Give the guy a break. Dude is 28 years old. Already accomplished in the welterweight division. Already had his tune up and is calling out the big guns. How long people gonna hate? How long? That's it. You already decided that this is gonna be the narrative you're gonna hold on to. From now on, I'ma hate on Boots no matter what. JJ's in their house. Effing bull. Just because you spit facts. And I'm gonna keep doing it, my brother. John Pound, F a shadow band. You know, at first, the first time, man, when I got shadow banned, I was like upset, like real upset about it. Like, damn, man, like, think about it. You got 100 people in here going at it, battling it out. 110. I think the most was like 190 people up in here. We battling it out, arguing, debating, trash talking, respectfully too, because we building up a good community. And boom, Shadow Band Jay Smith in the building. But I tell you what, my peoples, if you think about it, this Shadow Band part, this is just part of the story. When I get to where I'm going, that's gonna be part of it. Like shit, yo, y'all remember when I was Shadow Band? And there was only 5 of us in the line going at it. This is part of it, my peoples. The process is not just straight going up. It's up and down, up and down, up and down until you get to where you're going. DJ Rush. PBC, I think you really see the impact of Showtime leaving them. So how much better off they were when Showtime was around, were striving. So DJ Rush, I'm gonna tell you some of the realest shit that you're gonna hear. And I think you should hit the, if you agree with what I'm about to say and you think it's real, you should hit the like button along with everybody else. Check this out. The problem with PBC is that they did exactly what was done with HBO. Let me explain myself. If you old enough to have watched HBO boxing, boxing after dark, and all that good stuff, you know that was the most fire boxing show, boxing content out. Period. Nobody was messing with HBO. They had Zab Judah, and everybody, Oscar De La Hoya was fighting on there, Tito Trinidad, man, listen, Mike Tyson. Everybody was on HBO. But I'm going to tell you what happened. In order to secure the best cards, HBO started overpaying fighters. They like, okay, ESPN's paying you this and this network paying you that. We're gonna pay you $1 million. We're gonna pay you $2 million. They started paying. So what happened was that they started losing money quietly. They wasn't talking about it at that time. Social media didn't even exist, but they was losing money quietly. And eventually, they just caught everybody off guard. They put the news out that they were gonna have to pull the plug on boxing, and then it came out that they had lost a bunch of money. So enter PBC. Al Heyman convinced Showtime that he had Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, um, Sean Porter, and these other guys that he was gonna make them into superstars, and he was gonna make all of these the biggest fights in boxing. But what really happened was that they only focus on getting a few guys their belts and the whole side of the street stuff. So we never really got a bunch of fights that we were supposed to get, that we wanted, because the whole one side of the street thing, right? But here's the thing that most people don't realize. Showtime paid a bunch of millions of dollars in guaranteed money because Al Heyman guaranteed them that these stars were gonna make Showtime explode. Subscriptions, if you watch Showtime boxing, you understand they don't give commercials. They don't get no money in commercial sponsorships, right? No money for that. So the money that they get is from the fights and the subscriptions. So guess what? People didn't subscribe. A bunch of people, the millions of people that they thought was going to subscribe to Showtime to watch their fighters, did not subscribe. So ultimately, when Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, y'all remember when they was always, we the ones making the most money. When they not getting paid over there, we getting millions. Y'all remember that? Well, while they was doing that, they was sinking the ship on Showtime because Showtime was losing mad money. So the reality is, and people don't like to say it, but I'm telling y'all, all of them guys was getting overpaid because they wasn't generating nowhere near the money. Nowhere near the money that they was getting paid. They was getting paid millions of dollars. They was not generating that though. And guess what? Over a year before Showtime pulled the plug on boxing, I started posting about that. I started telling people, yo, Showtime is gonna pull the plug on boxing. Watch. Trust me. And people were saying, you a hater. You just hating because they make it the most money. They this, they that. And you see, people didn't realize that the fighters was making money, but Showtime was losing money. And ultimately, they ended up pulling the plug on boxing, just like I told people they was going to. Just like I told people they was going to. That's what happens. I saw it with HBO, and I saw it with Showtime exactly the same way. That's look. This is the reason why networks getting taken down by applications. That's why you see the zone thriving, because that's an application. So even if you don't follow boxers like that, there's people subscribe to the zone. And the zone can market to all these people, yo, come watch these fights. The same with Netflix. Look at Netflix now. 40 plus million views for Canelo versus Crawford. That's it. The applications took over. DJ Rush, I'm 21. Only knew and grew up with Showtime boxing era. Glad I got to see it though. Before they left 2 years ago. Showtime gave us some great boxing, bro. Showtime gave us some great boxing. But it was bound to happen. It was bound to go out. JJ's in the house. If you're 21, you missed the good old days when boxing was free on TV. Oh man, we got a lot of good ones on free TV. A lot of good ones. JJ's in their house. Oh no, John. Hold on. Can't read this, man. Okay, John Parham. What's next for Boots? I think it's gonna be Virgil Ortiz. I honestly believe it's gonna be Virgil. John Parham. Nothing like Tuesday night fights. Showtime. HBO. Man, listen. I loved all of them, but my favorite one was Boxing After Dark from HBO. That was my favorite series that they put out. That was crazy. JJ's in their house. 16 likes, let's go. Hit the like button, everyone, as you enter. I mean, I don't know, man. People still ducking that like button like crazy. But that's okay. Y'all gonna catch on. The people who like to ghost watch, they're gonna catch on eventually. They're gonna be like, damn, I gotta hit the like. This is too fire. This guy's killing it too much. But John, I'm telling you, I really believe that, Jaron Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz is a fight we're gonna get next. I honestly feel that way. You saw Boots, did what he had to do yesterday and was calling out Virgil, not just Virgil, he calling out everybody. Boots was out there calling out everybody. So what's next for him? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out what's next for him. Hopefully, it is Virgil. Because honestly, that's the fight I want to see. Personally. John Parham. Boots look like he boxed during slavery. No shade, because I'm black. Yo, Boots is a strong dude, man. He a big, strong dude, my G. I want you to think about this. 5'10". And look at his build. And the thing is, Boots, I'm explaining to you something, guys. So you can see, and I'm giving you some boxing knowledge over here. Some fighters have a frame that gives them an advantage. Their frame. And let me clarify that for you. Look at Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is strong, right? The advantage that his frame gives him is that wide body and that wide neck, he can absorb punishment because of that frame. He has a frame that he can take a shot. That's a plus. But here's the negative. He also have a frame where he's short with the short arms, which is gonna put him at a reach disadvantage in most fights. Think about that. Which I told you guys that was part of the reason why Crawford was gonna beat him. I told you guys that the reach advantage was gonna be a big factor. And Canelo Alvarez, he's short and he has short arms. So when he run into a guy who can box, who got footwork and reach on him, we saw what happened. Terrence Crawford put the beats, the Dre, the Swiss, and the respective Apple beats on Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm wilding. On Canelo Alvarez. Which, by the way, people got to stop saying Crawford go fight Boots. That ship has sailed. People need to just let it go. Let it go. Boots was offered a fight with Crawford on BLK Prime, and they turned it down. They had the opportunity to do it, and they chose not to. That ship has sailed. Crawford is now the 168 champion in the face of boxing. He's not moving down to 154 to fight Boots, who isn't even a champion right now. Come on now. That ship has sailed. Let it go, my peoples. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Didn't even get to 20 likes in an hour of action. Damn, I can't believe it. But still, one love to everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you guys. Salute to John Parham. JJ's in their house was in the building. DJ Rush was also in the building. Appreciate you, my G. Unlaced. Appreciate you, my brother. Jason Williams. You already know what it is. Tay John. Shy Guy. Young Guns. Philly Talk TV. Everybody who tuned in this morning, man. I appreciate y'all. You already know what it is. The next episode of Boxing for Breakfast kicks off tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Do not miss it, my peoples. We're gonna be talking boxing. We're gonna be doing what we do. I think it's gonna turn into a cooking show because I see a lot of the hate going on Jaron Boots Ennis. So tomorrow may turn into a cooking show, man. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all already know what it is, man. Your boy Jay Smith. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Peace out, my peoples. You know what it is.